my name is Rachel and this is the Professional Hippie Yoga Vlogmas Day 1 and 2, and to tell you the truth, I have always wanted to say that, so this is a huge moment for me where I have been enjoying other people's Vlogmases for years and I've always wanted to do my own, and so this year I started to think about it halfway through the year and made sure I put my orders in for Advent calendar and just planned it all for you, and I hope this is a wonderful experience for both of us. So welcome. I'm a yoga teacher and a Lightworker, which means that I have the spiritual ability to work with positive energies in order to enhance my life and the lives of those around me. I have the innate ability to assist people to tap into their higher energetic selves or their higher selves. So I hope that you enjoy this session with me today, where I'll be sharing my family's journey through the festive season, sharing some cooking tips in separate videos alongside the Vlogmas videos. I actually have already filmed them. It has just taken me so long to edit and to share them on YouTube, but they're all, they're all coming. So make sure that you have your favorite hot drink. I've got delicious coffee. AeroPress coffee is, turns out really well. And so I used to have a huge stainless steel coffee making machine, but I find that the AeroPress does a really good job. It, provides really lovely uniform results and a lot less maintenance with the AeroPress. Just a simple rinse under the tap and you're done, rather than, the full scale cleaning of coffee making machine, which I used to use. And make sure you have a really delicious sweet treat. My very first mince pie for the season, and yes, I couldn't help myself. I took a little bite before. So good. I just love the little star on top. And for me, they taste better if you eat it with a fork or a spoon. Dishwasher's humming away with all the teaspoons, and so I've stolen one of the children's plastic forks. Tastes good. And I am also a full-time mum of 2 toddlers, a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. Their names are Oak and Olive, so a little boy and a little girl. And so they keep me very, very busy, which is why I may have to do a video every 2 days rather than every day, just to help me with the filming and editing process, just make it a little bit easier to combine the days together. So I am also a knitter, fibre crafter. I've loved craft work ever since I was a very small child, and I find it extremely relaxing to knit. So I did a Christmas cast on. So this is my project bag, which my mum got me, Dreamer. And I bought this little magazine when I was in the airport going to London in 2011, I believe. So it's a UK magazine. I'm Australian and I live in Australia. But I have actually gone and worked overseas in England and lived there for 2 years in 2 separate trips. Before I was a yoga teacher, I was a classroom teacher. It was one of those defining moments as a young adult, traveling by myself, especially overseas. I hadn't even really traveled that much within Australia before I left, and I had never traveled by myself. So I just dove straight in 2011, and then again in 2014. I went to the UK and had incredible experiences both times. I absolutely loved living there, and I definitely see the UK as home away from home. It actually came free in a magazine. I think the booklet was called Knit Now, that's right, Knit Now. And this little booklet came with it spectacular socks, and it's, as you can see, very well used over many years. Before I bought this magazine in 2011, I hadn't actually made socks. I'd knitted jumpers and hats, but not socks. And so this was really my introduction to sock knitting, and now I'm absolutely obsessed. It is my favourite thing to knit. My mother taught me how to knit when I was 4, and I knitted just simple squares and then stitched those squares together to make little dolls blankets and, you know, dog and cat blankets for our pets. But it wasn't until the Stitch and Bitch series was released in 2004. It's my very first year of uni, and I remember that as well as a, you know, really big deal to purchase that book. And you know, from there I actually learnt more advanced knitting and knitted a jumper. So yeah, so it's been a wonderful lifelong journey, and it's always one that is evolving as well. The knitting and fibercraft is just something that you learn something new all the time, and it is the coziest thing to make as well. I love knitting, especially at Christmas. So I'll share my Christmas cast on, which I began on the 1st of December, so yesterday, and it is, I'm making the basket weave sock in that book that I just showed you, a Spectacular Socks. And I have so far finished the cuff, so that's the bit that goes around the top of the leg. And the wool that I'm using, I think this wool is called Mermaid's Tail, independent yarn dyer called Claire, and her little business on Etsy is called Ruffles Yarn. And I absolutely love her colorways. I have been purchasing, I originally purchased about 3 years ago, and I just love the quality. I love the colors and how she can make the speckles so beautiful in her dyeing that every single stitch is a different color. And so it adds so much enjoyment to the knitting process, and it just it's just so beautiful and vibrant. And all the socks that I have made with her hand dyed yarn, you know, look stunning, are really unique, and I've really enjoyed making, and I really enjoy wearing. It's fantastic wool, and I'm a fan. I'm not sponsored at all and by her, but I just thought I would share. I also used her hand dyed yarn in my When Life Unravels video, and that colorway was called Fruit Custard. I love all the colorway names that she has. Very, very creative maker. So that's Mermaid's Tail. I used this for another project. It was a mini skein. I've only got the tiniest bit left, so I can only really do the 2 cuffs with this wool, and then I'll have to do a different contrast for the heels and toes. And the main colour for the sock is another one of her yarns called Elves at Play. So that one I bought a couple of years ago, and I have squirreled it ready for my Christmas cast on. I did Vintage Christmas, that was my Christmas cast on, and I'll share those socks with you tomorrow. And yeah, and then this one is Elves at Play for this year. So very excited. Okay, so on my antique spinner's chair, so this is a very old-fashioned chair where that you would sit on to spin wool, and that is my absolute dream for next year. Is I have found a local spinners and weavers guild. I have had a few conversations with the lady who runs it, and they sound really friendly, so I'm really looking forward to joining in the new year. I'll keep you posted on that one too. So, Advents. So this Advent calendar I purchased from Hannah at Corner of Craft. She has a YouTube channel. I bought her Sturdy Sock Advent for this year. I've never bought one of these before, but I have seen them on Vlogmases, and I'm like, oh, I really want one of those. So I definitely put my order in as soon as, on the very day that Hannah announced that she was selling them, I put my order in straight away, and I'm so glad I did. They look so pretty in my little basket. I've only put out half of them, and then I'll refill halfway through the festive season. But I had to get this one, inspired by the Muppets Christmas Carol, and I watch it every single year. That's definitely the one for me. So you get a little colorway name chart, and the very first one is called I Am Here to Tell the Story. So I haven't peeked, I have no idea what this one will be, but I'll have a look. Oh, it's pretty. Oh, wow. It's so different. It's like the cold landscape of Dickensian England, Dickensian London. With maybe that's a bright crackling, the hearth. So it's like the hearth and the snow. Maybe the little spots of brown as well for Scrooge's jacket. Yeah, so lovely. And we've got a little treat in here. Oh, wow. So a little badge, Laura Crow says, Marley was dead to begin with. The knocker on the door. Oh, spooky, spooky, spooky. I do love spookiness at Christmas. I think everyone does. It's a very, very old tradition to, have ghost stories and a little spook session. Awesome. Very nice. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting a little badge to go with it. But yeah, wonderful. I'll just share a little Christmas miracle that happened on the 1st of December yesterday. I'm not sure if it was in my husband's parents' house, if they found this dusty old shoebox, and inside was my husband's late sister's Nintendo Wii console, and all the batteries had been left in it for over 10 years. And they also found the Wii balance board totally covered in dust, hidden away in the corner of their living room. And as the batteries had been left in, worried about them leaking and corroding, and therefore it wouldn't work. And so my husband, cleaned it all up and plugged it into the TV, and we crossed our fingers hoping that it would work, and lo and behold it did. And so I'm so excited to have the Nintendo Wii back again. It feels like it's come back to me because in 2010 I first became a teacher, and one of the very first things that I purchased, and I really, really saved up for it, was the Nintendo Wii, because I really loved the Wii Fit Plus balance board and game. I had friends who had this gaming, it was like a fitness game, and it actually makes a really cool party game as well. And so it was something that I really wanted to have myself. And so as soon as I was on a professional wage, that was one of the things I went out and bought, and I absolutely loved it. I also bought there was a Beatles music game, and I also bought the guitar and the drum kit as well, and I also had the dance mat, I'm pretty sure, too. And so I had this all set out in my living room, and I enjoyed inviting people over because for the very first time I had my own house and I had an ability to entertain, which is something I've always dreamed of doing. And so I did have a couple of friends from university ask if they could come and stay, because I also conveniently lived in wine country at the time. And so they were going to a winery convention or a winery tour, and they asked if they could, you know, stay at my house for a couple of nights while they did that and enjoyed themselves. And I was sure. I just got the Nintendo Wii, you know, come and we'll have an awesome time. And I was really looking forward to catching up with them, and they were bringing their partners. And then there was an unsettling moment when they turned up, and I was so happy to see my friends. But then this dodgy guy, I can only describe him as dodgy. He just, as soon as, it wasn't so much the way he looked or anything, but my intuition was just like, this person, you know, you do not know him, and he shouldn't really be in your house. Like, I just had this, my intuition was just screaming, no, this person is not for you. When I saw him, there was just something that just made me think, like, just chilled me to the core. I just got this odd chilled feeling. I welcomed him and I said hello, and I asked them, so who's this? And they said that he was a friend of one of their partners. So he was a work colleague of their partner. Got the party started, got the, you know, drinks and crackers, and we had dinner. But throughout the experience, I just had this very unsettled feeling the whole time when it came to this extra person. And I became quite concerned when it came time for, because I wasn't expecting him. He had nowhere to sleep. I was very young and quite inexperienced, but I didn't want to admit it even to myself at the time. And I just thought, no, this, you know, like, it wouldn't go away. It wouldn't shake this feeling. And so I took one of my friends to the side and I just said, is he wanting to sleep here? Because I just thought, I don't want this person to be in my house, you know, and everyone asleep and all of that. I was single at the time. I didn't have children. I had 2 dogs and a cat. But even so, I didn't want this person sleeping in my house. And she said, oh yeah, I think so, you know. And so she kind of had a whispered conversation with her partner and was like, Rachel's feeling a bit, you know, not sure about this guy. And he was like, oh, well, you know, what are we going to do? And so I ended up just saying, well, you know, I didn't want to cause an issue. I didn't want to upset people, you know, who were staying in my house. And so I just thought, oh, I'll just roll with it and hopefully it would be okay. And then, but I just noticed that he was kind of snooping around my house. There were times when he said that he'd go to the bathroom and then didn't come back for a very long time. And then I was going to the kitchen for extra drinks and I happened to see the light of my bedroom on. And so I went and checked and he was in there, you know, snooping around. Like, he was just kind of, yeah, dodgy. And hindsight's a wonderful thing. Like, I felt that intuition of just, no, this person's not right. But I just couldn't, I just, you know, I went against my intuition in that moment. And because I didn't want to cause a social rupture, you know, I didn't want to cause upset, and I didn't want to put this person, even though I didn't know him, I still value him as a person. And, you know, I would not want to be, you know, like told, no, you can't stay here. Mind you, I wouldn't go to someone's house if I wasn't invited and I didn't know. So I went with it, went to bed, was, you know, still that feeling didn't leave. And then in the morning, there was a work engagement that weekend. And so I went for a couple of hours to go to do a community event. So I left a key so my guests could come and go, because of course they're going to a winery tour. And so I asked them to please lock up for me. And so they said that they would. And then while I was at this community event, I got a text message from one of my friends saying that unfortunately they would not be returning to my house that they would go on their tour and then they were going to drive home. Thank you very much for letting us stay. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, hopefully that means that that guy as well will go with them. Then when I got home that night, I found my door wide open, and a lot of my possessions missing, and my Wii console, all the instruments and all the accessories were all gone. And I'd only owned that Wii for about 2 months, and for, you know, and this was well over $1,000, maybe even close to $2,000 worth of equipment, and it was all gone just like that. And when I rang my friend, she said that the extra male friend of theirs said that he would lock up, that he would stay a bit longer and he would lock up for them, but then decided not to lock the house because he didn't want to lock me out of my own house. And so he just simply left the key and left the door open, and left my house, you know, not secured. And therefore someone else came and took my equipment plus other items in my house. That was very upsetting for me, but a really good lesson for me to learn as well is to respect intuition and also only have guests in a weekend which is completely free. So because things like that can happen, plans change, and that's a really important lesson for us all to be aware of, you know, especially during the festive season with people coming and staying. Have that strength, that inner strength to set those boundaries and to say, no, I'm sorry, I don't know you. My friends don't know you either. Please, you know, find alternative accommodation, you know, and don't have strangers staying in your house. So it was like a bit of a Christmas miracle, because it was like it came back. Even though it was 15 years later, here it is, Nintendo Wii, and my favourite game, which is the Wii Fit Plus. So there you go. So when disappointing things happen, I was very, very upset at the time, but I knew instantly, you know, going against my intuition was the wrong thing to do. I learnt the lessons from that straight away as it happened. But then what actually helped me to let go of that incident, so that it no longer upset me, was the feeling of forgiveness. I forgave whoever it was who took my Nintendo Wii. I said in my mind, I forgive you, and I forgave my friends for, you know, putting me in this very awkward position. However, I did not allow them to stay again. I just simply said that I'd love for them to come on day trips, that I'd love to see them and everything, but they would have to source their own accommodation. And also I had to forgive myself for allowing that situation to occur, for not putting my foot down because I didn't want to cause social issue. But then again, my friends left early anyway. So not, you know, I was a very gracious host and very accommodating and very friendly, and, you know, I really had a great time with them. But so I felt like I had to forgive all parties concerned. And then the second thing was that I wished the items that were taken from my house well on the continuing journey, which for some people may seem a little bit strange because, you know, they're objects, they're not sentient beings. However, I just feel that energetically, when you wish and release, so, you know, if something is taken from you, to say, okay, it's gone on its way, it's gone to a new owner. I wish the new owner well, and that I hope that it gives them a lot of joy. That just serves the purpose of releasing the frustration and the anger that can be attached to these situations. So clearing that negative energy is really wonderful, particularly at a stressful time of year such as December, where there's lots of parties, there's lots of festivals, school's finishing up, work is finishing up, there's lots of deadlines, there's lots of expectation, and there's lots of like shopping and cooking and planning and all sorts has to happen. So releasing day by day these like little unfair situations that come against us is really helpful at all times of year, but particularly in the more stressful times of year such as December. So that brings me to my little Christmas quote, which today I'm taking it out of A Christmas Garland, which is a beautiful collection of stories and poems from, you know, many different writers, and it's beautifully illustrated. So this is, and very fittingly, this is by Charles Dickens, A Christmas Wish. Many Merry Christmases, many Happy New Years, unbroken friendships, great accumulations of cheerful recollections, and affection on earth and heaven for us all. And so I thought that was very fitting with that little anecdote. Despite certain tensions or disappointments or things that can happen during the festive season, it's lovely to hold on to that Christmas cheer and to say that, you know, friendships will endure, Christmas and New Year's will be a happy time of year. And so my second little share with you today, it's a little ornamental cauldron, came into my life where I was in England, countryside England. Went into a little charity shop, and they had lots of little curios and things. And this little, it's a brass cauldron with a little flower painted onto it, beautifully made. And this little piece caught my eye straight away. It's so cute. Isn't it so cute? So I paid £1 for it. And it's just been one of those little, you know, travelling treasures. Those little treasures that you get from all your different holidays. And this little pom-pom is, it was originally attached to my project bag, but the chain that was attaching it to it broke. And so my daughter calls this the cheeky pom-pom. So I just put it here and it's just kind of become my little lid. And so yeah, so let's see what's under the cheeky pom-pom today. Rose quartz. And so this is once again another reminder to get into the festive season with a heart of love for all people, all animals, all of nature, and all situations. May we go forth with a heart full of love. So yeah, and each Vlogmas there'll be something new under the cheeky pom-pom. Okay, and now number 2, the second one, and this colour is called I Am Here for the Food. Yum, yum. Ooh. Let's see. That's different. It's really interesting. Lots of lovely speckles. I do love speckles. I guess this is all the different kinds of food. So, you know, browns, maybe for puddings. This reminds me of like egg or custard, like custard on pudding, or maybe fried egg. Red speckles of berries. It's like a apricot-y hue in there as well. So all the different Christmas foods that we have to look forward to. There we go. I don't actually have any plans for what I'm going to make with my Advent. Well, the collection will keep me going for a long time, so that's really exciting. So I hope you've enjoyed today, this little Vlogmas, and I wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. And if you haven't already, feel free to click the subscribe button, hit the like. So what situations have you come across where an unfair situation occurred and it really taught you something. And so let me know in the comments below. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today. Thank you so much for your company, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye!